You got to give Dana White credit. If he says something's going to happen, sure enough, it is happening. And the thing that is happening now, that would be Fight Island. It is going to be, wait for it, on Yas Island. Yas, I said that correctly, in the United Arab Emirates. Now, here's how it's going to shake down. UFC will stage 4 fight cards there in July, beginning with UFC 251 on July 11th. As for that particular event, there are 3 title fights on that card. Kamaru Usman defending his welterweight belt against Gilbert Burns. Alexander Volkanovski taking on Max Holloway. That is a rematch there. And then Jose Aldo fighting Peter Yan for the vacant bantamweight belt. And that is not all, by the way. There's another fight on the schedule for August. We're going to get into that in just a second. But first, let's bring in the host of the State of Combat podcast, Brian Campbell. Brian, I said it. Dana White says something. He pretty much gets it done. Now we're going to have Fight Island. We were all very curious about this. So give us a little bit of what we can expect here.
Well, look, from the cryptic nature of how Dana set this up, I would be lying if I didn't have a womp-womp sort of effect here. UFC has been to Abu Dhabi before. They have staged a pair of cards on Yas Island. This isn't the mysterious tropical sharks with laser beams idea for Dana, but what we are getting is an absolutely loaded card. The purpose of Fight Island, of course, is for international-based fighters who are unable to fly to the U.S. right now during the global pandemic. And Dana White and company have delivered in a big way here with the 3 title fights you mentioned, a loaded main card, which also includes Paige Van Zandt and a must-see women's strawweight rematch between former champions in Jessica Andrade and Rose Namajunas. Another round here for UFC with a bunch of cards in a short period of time, this time 4 fight cards in 2 weeks. And if the first one, 251, is any indication, they're bringing out the big guns during a time when we're hearing a lot of negativity about fighter pay and things like that. UFC still putting out the big ones.
Yeah, all right, let's go through the title fights there for 251. They're starting with Usman and Burns. Usman here will be trying to defend his welterweight title. Give us a preview of this fight.
Well, he's facing a red-hot opponent, Gilbert Burns, who's won 6 in a row and just dismantled the former champion in Tyron Woodley. The reason why this fight has the potential to be so good is not just Usman being maybe the best wrestler we've seen in the welterweight division, and also Burns being so good on the ground as a jiu-jitsu specialist, but these guys are teammates in South Florida at Hard Knocks 365, and they're certainly going to have to put that friendship and that knowledge of each other aside. Burns is the hot hand UFC skipping past Leon Edwards, a top contender who had won 8 in a row, and also Jorge Masvidal, who reportedly priced himself out of this fight and revealed that he got offered basically half the amount of what he received last year. But this is a fantastic fight off the top for sure. And then when you're looking at that featherweight rematch between Alexander Volkanovski and longtime champ Max Holloway, first fight very close on the scorecards. You gotta see if Volkanovski is the real, if he can do it one more time. But Amanda, I'm here for bantamweights. Please, have you watched UFC 250 last weekend? Bantamweights are what is hot right now. Please pour some Peter Yan and Jose Aldo, inject it inside the veins. I'm ready, please.
All right, that's going to be a big one. You said you're most excited about that bantamweight. Why? Give us the shakedown there.
We're trying to figure out, with Henry Cejudo having given up his title to quote-unquote retire, who's the man at bantamweight. Last weekend, we saw everyone from Sugar Sean O'Malley to Aljamain Sterling to Cody Garbrandt, the former champion, announce themselves. Well, this fight right here, Aldo, the longtime king at featherweight against the rising star in Yan, is for the vacant title. They'll get first dibs. Winner, of course, will have to fight Aljamain Sterling per Dana White. But you look at the power, the savagery of Peter Yan against the Brazilian icon in Aldo, who looked great moving down to the weight class in his first fight. But oh, controversy. He lost to Marlon Moraes by split decision in a fight that could have gone either way. Dana White and company, though, rewarding his long years of service and allowing him to move into this title fight despite coming off a loss. You won't hear a ton of complaints because the fight's going to be awesome. Can't wait to check out whether Yan is for real or Aldo can become the latest two-division king.
Brian, you mentioned it briefly, but I want to circle back to, all right, that is UFC 251 on July 11th, but Dana White was not done there, Brian. He staged another fight, a rematch, if you will, a triple rematch of sorts for August. Give us a preview of what we can expect then.
Yeah, you got to buckle up here. This could be the biggest, most important heavyweight bout in UFC history. A rematch, a third one, in fact, for the title as Stipe-Miocic defends against Daniel Cormier. What's at stake here? Oh, well, yeah, the UFC Heavyweight Championship, the battle of each other, but also the clear title as the greatest heavyweight champion in UFC history. No, the Russian great Fedor Emelianenko never stepped foot in the octagon, but short of him, we're really looking at the two most decorated heavyweight champions and maybe the two best outside of guys like Randy Couture and Cain Velasquez. Miocic, Cormier, both have a victory over each other over knockout. Both fights were very exciting, including the rematch where Miocic walked down Cormier as he began to fade late. This could be the final fight in the great DC's career. And you have to believe, after becoming a two-division champion and sort of flirting with joining that upper core of the greatest fighters to ever do it, he's able to walk away on top with the heavyweight title after a memorable trilogy against Stipe. You're not just looking at the greatest heavyweight. You're really looking at a guy who has a case with people like John Jones, GSP, Anderson Silva to be considered among the greatest of all time.
All right, Brian Campbell, thank you so much for joining us here, getting us ready for Fight Island. It is going to happen there on Yas Island in the United Arab Emirates. You can hear Brian talk much more about this. I am sure some podcasts are coming up on the State of Combat podcast there. Download and subscribe wherever you find your podcasts. Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.